Hello aspirants, welcome to Spardha Line. Today we are starting one new initiative under the run-up sessions to the Sociology Master Batch. The series is the Sociology Concept Capsules, where we are going to discuss the crucial concepts in sociology optional, and we'll see whether even the general people who are not belongs to sociology background, they can also understand. So today we are going to discuss the sociological imagination of the C.W. Mills, very crucial topic when it comes to UPSC, because this becomes the base for the questions, and UPSC asks the questions with different contexts. And also topic is very crucial when it comes to understanding sociology, how the sociology become different from the perspective of common man. So we'll start with our session with the sociology imagination. When you hear the sociological imagination, there are two words. One is sociology, second is imagination. Where about the second word, imagination? In our daily life, we do a lot of imaginations. We have that inherent skill to imagine something in our daily aspect. So before going to sociological imagination, we'll see what exactly the imagination is there and how it becomes sociological imagination become different from the imagination, that general imagination. And this becomes very crucial to understand the sociological imagination. So when it comes to imagination, so if I ask you to do imagination, imagine what you will be in next 5 years. So what you will do, you might think that I will become IAS, I will be sitting in my cabin solving the issues related to people. So what exactly you are doing? You are speculating certain things, you are predicting the possibilities. So these things we do generally when we do imagination. So when it comes to the general imagination, it is our ability to think creatively, and that is the beyond the present, or speculate something. So it is the imagination is more about the creative thinking. So just I said, imagine yourself as a what you will be in next 5 years. So you started imagining yourself as an IAS officer, sitting your cabin, might be whatever your imagination it would be. So creatively you are speculating things, creatively you are imagining the background, whatever comes into your mind. So it is all about the creativity. And when it comes to the only imagination, what is it focus? It's focus on the individual thoughts. It focus on the speculations and the fantasy. Many people will have the fantasy going into Ladakh for bike riding. They might imagine in their daily, whenever they will sit free. So this is about our individual thought. And when we use this, we use it for storytelling, okay, or predicting certain events in future. So it is concerned more about our individual day-to-day life, and it is about our creative thoughts, creative thinking. So here what makes the sociological thinking imagination different from the general imagination. So when it comes to the sociological imagination, when we see this word together, that is the sociological imagination, or when we attach the sociology word in front of imagination, it is about seeing the link between the individual aspect, the individual problem with the larger social structure, the larger social aspect. So this is crucial if you want to understand what exactly society does, because in society, if you see, if the thinker changes, some thinker might focus on the individual aspect, some thinkers focus on society as a whole, but there is, as their perspective differing here, they are focusing on the different things. But as a sociology student, what we'll do, will not follow the particular thinker. So what we'll see, we'll understand both, and if you understand both the thinkers to form your base, this concept becomes very important. And why this concept becomes important? Because it creates the link between individual aspect and the larger social structure. So where it focus more? It focus on the analyzing the social structure, the social issues, the concern which individual face in day-to-day life, and that is caused by the entire social structure. So it is all about our ability to connect the individual experience with the larger social structure. Sometimes we might connect it to historical development. For example, if you see the Karl Marx analysis of capitalism, then what he does, he analyzes the development of society from the primitive communism to present. So he attaches everything to emergence of private property and the growth of private property, the flourishment of the private property. So what he does, he connects the individual aspect with the larger social structure. That is what he is doing. Another thing, another side he is doing, he is connecting to historical sense. So both things he is doing. So when we talk about the sociological imagination, if you want to differ it from the general imagination, if I want to tell you in one word what is the sociological imagination, it is all about the critical thinking. And when we see the imagination only, it's about the creative thinking. So if you want to take the example here of sociological imagination, let's say you are unemployed. So why you are unemployed? Some might think that I lack the skill, I lack motivation to get employment. But if what it is caused by the larger social structure, then this aspect becomes very important, that because of the development in society, because of the change in social structure, the economic structure, you are unemployed. So this is the way you are critically thinking. You are unemployed because there is larger change in economic structure, that is the coming of new age technologies. It is changing the employment landscape, and that is causing unemployment. So this is where it is all about the critical thinking, and that makes difference from the general imagination. So, and also when we see the sociological imagination, one concept becomes more important, that is the differentiate between common sense knowledge and sociological thought, sociological knowledge. In common sense knowledge also we do these certain things. When we see the particular issue from the common sense perspective, we analyze it from common sense perspective. Per se, the example of poverty you can take. In general, in common sense knowledge, what we think, why the particular person is poor? Because we might think he lacks the capability, he lacks the ability to earn money, he lacks the ability to develop himself. But when it comes to sociological thinking, the sociological knowledge, what the sociologists think, they go beyond that. They will think what are the related factors that causing the poverty. Oscar Lewis, who says it culture of poverty, he says that person is poor because of the values, the cultural values. Example, if you see the data, the people belonging from lower strata, they are disproportionately present the poor. They have disproportionately present in the poverty. So why this? Because the cultural development, the cultural value, caste value, that confining them into the particular role, the occupation, and these occupations are low towards, they don't earn, they will not get enough money to get rich, and these values, the occupation itself is transferred from generation to generation. So we see the generational poverty there, and this is because the cultural values. So this makes different from the common sense knowledge and the sociological knowledge. Same way, imagination and sociological imagination. Imagination, we restrict it to ourselves, our individual thought. When it comes to sociological imagination, we connect the individual and the larger social structure. So this is become very important. Now, if you want to see sociology imagination from the perspective of C.W. Mills, what C.W. Mills says, sociological imagination is all about understanding society and our position in this society. So he connects the individual experience with the larger social structure or the historical development. And when it comes to his analysis of sociological imagination, or the concept of sociological imagination, his two concept becomes very important. First is a personal trouble. So the Mills, we'll see Mills sociological imagination. So he gives two concepts. He sees the sociological imagination as a distinction between the personal troubles and the public issues. So when he says about the personal troubles, he calls it as a private problem of individual. So when we see the definition and try to understand what is personal trouble to according to C.W. Mills, it is all about our private experience, and this private experience or the private problems we face into our day-to-day life, these all are because of our individual position into the society. So when he says about the personal trouble, this personal trouble lies within the character of individual, within character of individual, or within the immediate relationships. So we can understand it better way through the example. We'll take the example of unemployment itself. So if person is unemployed, why is unemployed? If he analyze himself, then he might be lacking the skill, he might be lacking the motivation. So because of these aspects, he is unemployed person. So the unemployment is individual problem, that is private problem. And the C.W. Mills says, what is the personal trouble? That is because of the traits of his characteristic, like he is not willing to work and he is lacking the motivation. This is his character trait. So it is all about the individual failure. So when it comes to personal trouble, it's all about the individual capacity or individual failure. And here he makes distinction between the public issue and private trouble. When it tells about the public issue, it is all about the social problems that affects the many people. Okay, so whatever the problems happening in society that affects the many people, and it has roots in the social structure or the institutes of society. So when it talks about the public issues, he says go beyond the individual issues, the individual character traits, and analyze into with to larger personality, larger social structure. So when it comes to public issue, is all about the linking our individual problem with larger social structure. And this has become very important. We can understand through the example of unemployment itself. If we say the person is unemployed, so apart if person is skillful, he has that motivation to work and earn money, but still is unemployed. And this unemployment because of the changes in economical structure. Changes happened in economical structure. So if you want to understand it, now the newest technologies are coming, AI is coming, AI taking job of many people, and this is what is changing the economical landscape. And this is just because of the changing the economical structure, the person is unemployed. So what it is happening here. The issue, the unemployed issue, that is not limited to that person, or not no longer his individual concern. It is because of the larger social structure, the change in social structure and the problems in the social structure. So this is about the sociological imagination of C.W. Mills, where he connects the individual problem with the larger social structure and the changes happening in the larger social structure. Through that, he analyzes why the individual problems are facing. So after this, there are three major pillars of this sociological imagination. So first, as usual, we have seen first is the different distinction between the personal trouble and the public issues. So this we have seen detail how the there is distinction between the personal trouble and the public issues. Now second is the linking individual aspect, where what he calls biography with a social structure, or he calls it a background. Okay, so if you want to understand this in greater way, per se, if you see the data, a person that one child belongs to the civil servant couple, or the who is son's daughter of the IS officer itself, he will have the upper edge when it comes to clearing the UPSC, because ultimately he has that cultural capital, he has that guidance there. So, and when we compare it the son of farmer or daughter of farmer, they are in disadvantage because they are not having that cultural capital, like they don't have the inherent the guidance they will get from their parents. So this their background, the social economical background, will put them into disadvantage. And if someone is like son of farmer or daughter of farmer is taking 3-4 attempts to clearing the this particular examination, why? Because of his social economic background. His social background, when it comes to he is not belonging from that elite family, or he is not lacking that cultural capital, and also when it comes to economy, he might be from small marginal farmers family where he is lacking the economical capital. He cannot afford the expensive coaching, he cannot afford the expensive test series, he cannot afford the expensive mentorships, and this is the social and economical background holding him back to clearing UPSC in first or second attempt. So this is about the when we understand this, that is our issue, like our incapacity is linked to our social economical background. This becomes the second aspect of the sociological imagination of the C.W. Mills. Then there is third pillar, where he tells that question taken for granted knowledge. So when it comes to taken for granted, nothing but just what we are hearing, what we are inheriting from the previous generation, just we are following it, the norms, the way of life, we are just following and transferring to next generation. We are not questioning that particular aspect. So per se, example of gender roles. If I tell you, if society says it, that women should be confined themselves to in household aspect, household works. So when we see that, like entire generation, we are seeing our grandmother, our mother, so these are involving in this aspect. They are not questioning this cultural aspect, they are just following it. So when we question that taken for granted norms, that time it makes difference. So when we see, for example, to understand it better way, I'll give one example. If one girl is there, she belongs to some orthodox family and she wants to work, but she is not getting job because of the pressure from his family. Her family is not allowing her to involve in any employment, and also there are when it comes to employer perspective, they are also not hiring it, because ultimately when she will get married, she will shift her base, or when she will bear the child, that time she will go on maternal leave, and that it will put the employer on the disadvantage. So because of these aspects, she is not getting job, and she is thinking that she is lacking skills, she is lacking capability, and she is not analyzing the taken for granted the larger social structure. That is the cause or the reason behind her not getting job lies into social structure, that patriarchal structure. The patriarchal structure itself not allowing her to do any employment. So this is the, when we challenge this question this taken for granted norms, this taken for granted knowledge, that time it becomes the base of the sociological imagination, because that time you'll start thinking on the you will bring that sociological thinking. That time you will start linking the individual problem with the larger social context. So all through these three pillars, what C.W. Mills says, whatever the problem, the issues we are facing as an individual, the causes, the reasons lies in the larger social structure itself. And when we'll try to link it, then we are not alone here, or it is because of not our personal capacity, it is because of the problems in social structure. So this is the crux of sociological imagination of the C.W. Mills, where he tells it between distinction between personal trouble and the public issue, and also he analyzes it into with this all three pillars. And now he also says this sociological imagination itself is very crucial, because if you are not doing sociological imagination, what we'll do? We'll ultimately blame ourselves. Why will blame ourselves? Take the example of the girl who is not getting job, and she ultimately starting blaming herself because of she's lacking capacity. But the issue lies in the larger social structure, and if she not able to link it to larger social structure, ultimately what will happen? This will carry the inherent norms or inherent thinking that is woman lacks the capacity, and that will be automatically transferred to the next generation. So this lacking the sociological imagination becomes the crucial or very key when we carries the orthodox or the backward social thinking. So that's why he says that sociological imagination is very crucial if we want to change the social structure, and if we want to believe on our ultimate capacity. So the essence of sociological imagination lies in the analyzing or finding the reasons of our individual failure or individual issues into larger social structure. So this is all about the sociological imagination of the C.W. Mills. We have seen the different examples, and we have tried to analyze into. I have tried to break down in simple way. I hope you would have understood. If you have understood, just let me know in comment section. And before finishing discussion, this sociological imagination is not only for the student of sociology, it is for the other student who are writing GS paper, because this particular theme you can write in your essay. When you write about the individual problem, basically what we'll do to create a dimension, to make our essay multidimensional, will move from the individual to society. And when we'll move to individual society, I have seen the many people miss the flow, and if you want to bring the flow, this concept becomes very important, and this can be guide for you, because you can link individual issue into larger social structure, and this way you can bring the flow into when you change the dimension from the individual to society. Again, in other GS paper also, in ethics, you can use this concept to analyze the particular theme, the question given in better way. So this is not important for the sociology student. It is important for the other students who are writing the essay or GS. So today we are finishing the discussion. We'll come with tomorrow. We'll come with the next such interesting concept, where I will try to break down in simple manner, and I will do my best to convey the concept to you, the sociology students and the students who don't have background of sociology. So for today, this is we are finishing discussion. Thank you very much.